Alright, I think in the last video I was studying on my power steering pump. And Captain Fad commented that I should use brackets off a 71, 72 truck or pre-68, I think, passenger car. Which reminded me, stashed away in the stash, I had the brackets and stuff off the old blue Chevy from when I put the big block in it the first time nearly 20 years ago. So I found the power steering pump off it and alternator brackets, but no pulleys. I can't seem to find them, but I think I got enough here. So I'm going to mock that up and see how that looks. Slightly concerned about this manifold, but we'll see what happens here. Alright, I think I settled on the brackets I'm going to use. I'm going to use this bracket since it fits the manifold. The one off the 71 right there would work fine, except that it hits right there on the manifold. So I think this is going to work. I've gotten the pulleys lined up. I had to put a couple washers behind the bracket there and between the alternator and the bracket. That works, and the power steering works, and now I've got to figure out a spacer to get this pulley out just a scotch. So I'm going to get all that straight, and then we'll clean up those parts and paint them, and then we'll go to work on the exhaust manifold on this side probably, or the fuel line or something. Alright, I went down to the local parts store, bought a belt from power steering. I think I've got everything mocked up. The only thing I need to do now is make a spacer to go between the pulley and the balancer. I need to get that pulley out just a little. So I'm going to work on that now. Everything else is ready to be cleaned up and painted, I think. Alright, I made a little spacer to go behind my pulley. I think that'll work. And all I did was put some Dykem on there and scribe a line, cut it out, and drill some holes and stuff. And there it is. Alright, I think my little spacer is going to work out. Looks like we're lined up pretty good for the alternator belt. So I'm going to take that stuff apart and let little miss paint it. She has already cleaned the power steering pump. Looks like we might need to blow a little water off it, and we can get that painted. So what are you belly aching about?
How am I supposed to work on my little 2x4 bench? 2x3. 2x2.5.
Let's just see how big it is anyways. So if we're going to argue about it, we know what we're talking about.
See, less than 2.
It's 18-ish by... Here, hold that over there. 3. So you're 1.5 by 3 bench. Alright, continue on.
I can't ever work on it because, look. Not mine, not mine, not mine, not mine, not mine. Grinder's mine. This is mine, but it's my bench. So, I would appreciate it if you could clear off this stuff so I can actually work, because you obviously have the messiest workbench on YouTube.
But there's no room on my bench.
There's no room on mine either, that's the point.
Alright.
I want my little 1.5 by, what'd you say, 3? Under 3?
You see what I gotta deal with? I'm out here working and I gotta work some more. Alright, I'll clean up.
Thank you.
Not mine, not mine, not mine.
Not mine.
Hey, can I interrupt this conversation, please?
Yeah. Of course.
What's this over here? This is not mine.
I had nowhere to put it.
Where am I supposed to sit down while I'm working on this truck if you got your junk where I'm supposed to sit down?
He's got a valid point, Mom.
Well, the point was it got put there because my bench was covered. Now my bench is getting clear and it's going to go on there. So it's problem solved.
Okay. Alright, I think what I'm going to do next is build the fuel line to go from the fuel pump up to the carburetor. And before I do it, I'm gonna go over here. Well, I gotta clean up, don't I? And eyeball this one to get some ideas. I think I can do something like that. Are you getting it?
I guess.
It's fun, ain't it?
Totally.
Well, I got the fuel line built. It's not my finest piece, I don't think. But it'll work. It'll work. And it ain't a piece of hose draped all over everything. So I think we're gonna let it ride. That one came out with no heat. That one didn't. And that is not good. I heated it up and still twisted it off. Quite easily, in fact. So, let me pull another trick out of my pack. There, I welded a nut to it. I had to steal the welder from Mrs. Heavy Chevy though. She's not speaking to me now. Huh? Oh, because I wasn't talking to you, maybe.
I wasn't working.
Oh. Well, that didn't work. But the important thing to remember is don't give up. So I'm going to try it again. Alright, look here. It's working now. And that is what it looks like when you weld a nut onto the broken bolt. I'd pick it up and show you, but as you might expect, still pretty hot. You think old 63 Impala would approve?
No.
I didn't take the rust away, I just painted it.
She didn't take the rust away, she painted over it.
That's taking the rust away.
That's a rationalization. Alright, here's what I'm doing. I went down to the auto parts store to get one of those donuts that has a steel sleeve that's flat on the bottom side and concave like that, but they didn't have one. So I'm going to grind a bevel in the top of here so this donut will fit, and then I'll be able to bolt the flange down. And the reason I got to do all that is this side had the little valve in it, heat riser valve, and I don't want that.
Not everybody.
Mainly because I don't have one, and secondly because I need to get a bend as close to the manifold as possible to get around my airlines. So let me continue crack-a-lacking. You know, another thing you could say is I didn't paint the backside.
Oh, I didn't.
I know you didn't. I'm looking at it.
Okay, why don't we have power?
She didn't turn it on. Alright, that's what I got so far. Just gonna run these nuts down, tighten that up. I've always heard you don't want to use lock washers on your exhaust because the heat and cool cycle so rapidly will make them break and then it'll loosen up. So I'm just using flat washers. Gonna run them down tight. Alright, I've made the executive decision. I'm gonna hold up on this exhaust. I don't like it. I think I got another manifold somewhere that angles back. So I'm gonna think on that. Remember where it is and all that. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the alternator and power steering pump together because I believe the paint has dried. Has it, girl?
Yes, it has.
Alright then, let's proceed. Can't get stalled out on something I'm thinking on. I'd be doing something I can do. All them spoons. Alright, I got all the brackets on, the belts on. I had this one in inventory, which was good. I had to buy one. I got my return line hooked up, and now I gotta figure the pressure line out real good because it ain't fitting real good. So let's see what I come up with. Alright, got the power steering lines figured out. I'm not wildly excited about that one. But it'll work, I guess. It ain't hitting nothing. It's just not as sanitary as I would like. But can't have everything when you're broke. Alright, now I'm in the mood to fool this manifold again. Let me go dig around in my stash. Alright, I went down to try to retrieve my other manifold, but there's a passenger side manifold with a little turn like so. And it came off my blue 71 Chevy when I had the small block in it. The original small block, I believe. But I can't get that sucker off. I got 5 bolts out, broke the head off one, and it is stuck. Well, I say I can't. I didn't try hard enough. But it's also got an ear broke off, which, as I recall, I remember that now that I've seen it, it leaked exhaust all the time. So I got another idea. This one here is broke anyway, laying out in the woods in the junk pile. Let me think on that a minute.